Previously on Katawa Shoujo.
Whenever you start a workout, it's difficult the first day, really hard the second day, and then the third day is easier. You'll still get days that are really hard, but then you'll pop up less and less. So this will eventually get really easy, huh? Yeah, of course. But then you have to increase the difficulty, or you'll never get ahead. You'll just get complacent, and you'll lose the sense of accomplishment.
No, you're right. I should fill you in so that you don't get the wrong idea. Yeah, what are you up to with Emmy Honors? Huh? I'm actually relatively new here, you see. I got hired on the same year Emmy started going here. Before that, I worked with Emmy during her initial rehab following her accident.
Hold on. What?
We had to amputate her legs after a really nasty car wreck. It nearly killed her, and succeeded.
Oh my god.
He shuts up abruptly. I blink at receiving this unexpected piece of news. Well, that's not my place to say. Anyway, we've known each other for quite a while, so we have a slightly more familiar relationship than is strictly professional. As I head down the hallway, I can just barely hear his voice drifting after me.
Emmy, you've got to be more careful.
Uh-oh, what does that mean? Don't tell me her legs were bleeding or something. Maybe she's pushing herself way too hard as well. What's up, people? We are back with more of Katawa Shoujo. It's actually night time for me, although it has been that way for the last couple of hours or so, but I can't really go to bed peacefully without having recorded a video, so yeah, working overtime. I make it back to my room and shower in record time. It occurs to me that I've already been up for 4 hours and class hasn't even started yet. This is going to be a really long day. I hope I don't fall asleep in class. I love this sort of segment. I don't know what the frick to call it. Wait. What? The morning sunlight streaming through my window wakes me up instead of my alarm, and I realize that it must be Sunday. Emily has kindly deigned to give me weekends off from our morning runs. I don't actually know if I woke up at all yesterday, or if I just slept through the entire day. My legs groan in protest as I lever myself out of bed. What happened? I thought the week just started, or at least it was Tuesday. Because Monday we started running. This is like the second, or yeah, the previous video, the end of it was like the second day. So I guess they sort of sped forward through the rest of the week, because not that much seemed to have happened. All this running has really taken it out of me. Still, I can't deny that Emmy wasn't lying to me. It has gotten a little easier. I've been worried that the runs would start to wear on my nerves, but thus far, I haven't minded them that much. Well, it's only been a week. I suppose there's plenty of time for me to start dreading the sound of my alarm in the morning. Not that I could ever skip out now. As Emmy said, it's harder to stop a routine when there's another person. And frankly, I don't think I'm equipped to deal with a disappointed Emmy. She'd probably give me those puppy dog eyes, and I'd feel terrible about myself. Which reminds me, wasn't I supposed to be somewhere today?
Hey, you're coming to my track meet on Sunday, right? What am I talking about? Of course you are, right?
Those puppy dog eyes again. Of course I'm going. I owe you, right?
Exactly, so don't forget, okay?
Crap, Emmy's track meet. I'd better get a move on if I don't want to miss her running, since she's the only reason I'm ever considering going. Otherwise, it would defeat the whole purpose of going. Let's run towards our destination, which is obviously Emmy. There's only one destination in life. That's Emmy for me. I'm stuck in the route now anyway, so you know, I'm just tunnel visioning on her. She is my girl, my angel. Okay, am I going too far with this? I don't know. And so, I soon find myself quite suddenly surrounded by a crowd of people, all turning out to see our track team compete with another school like this one. I'll admit, it's almost comforting to know that we're not the only school like this. After you see that there can be two schools with a bunch of defective kids, wow, defectives, like we're broken, what? We're not broken, we're just, you know, I mean, yeah, we're not, if you were to compare us to toys, like, yeah, we're not freshly new out of the box, like, we're not in mint condition, but we're not defective either, you know? You stop feeling so defective. Oh my god. Does he really have to refer to it as defective? Oh god. You also stop feeling unique, which in most cases would be a bad thing, but in this case, it sure as hell isn't. That's a part of Yamaku's appeal, I guess. Learn that you're not unique. Hell, learn that there's a lot of other who would kill to be saddled with your problem instead of whatever they're dealing with. Some of the kids here aren't here because they're missing a leg or they have a heart condition. Some of them might be here because they're as good as dead in 2, maybe 3 years if they're lucky. Oh my god, I have never even considered that. And that's only if they get the right sort of care. It's a bitter sort of comfort to be able to say, well, at least I've got a chance at being alive through college. But there it is. I brought out my rather morbid musings by the appearance of Rin near the entrance to the bleachers. You came. Of course I said I would, didn't I? That doesn't necessarily imply that you had to follow through. Lots of people say things and don't mean them. Well, I don't. I'm a man of my word. Rin shrugs, seemingly bored with our conversation. Wow, of course, because we're not talking about crazy stuff, right? She turns on her heel and heads back towards the stands. I owe Emmy money now. Isn't this the second time? Why is that? I didn't think you'd show up. Emmy did. So I owe her 500 yen. You two bet an awful lot, don't you? Another shrug from my armless companion. I don't think so. We enter the bleachers, and Rin nods upwards. Up there. I came out to see if you'd come. For the bet, I presume. Rin leads the way, and soon we've settled down on an almost empty bench. Who the hell is that? There's an older woman sitting next to Rin. Someone's mother, I assume. She has a nice... Is that a mole, or is there... Does she have a mole on her cheek, or is that like... I'm trying to scratch it off my screen, but it's nothing, so it has to be a mole. For some reason, like, a mole like that, it can look cute on some people. And on her, I don't know. I'm kind of like, wow. But Emmy, okay, I have Emmy. What am I talking about? She's got rather long hair, done up in a braid. On seeing Rin, she gives her an oddly familiar seeming grin. Well, this is surprising. I thought you went to get a snack, not a boy. Huh? A snack? I wondered why I was down there. The woman laughs, again in a way that seems familiar. Where have I seen this before? Oh, don't tell me she's Emmy's mother. I can sort of see some of the similarities, right? Although I don't have Emmy right here next to her to compare. But for some reason, like perhaps something in her hair a little bit and her eyes. Well, I suppose you've always been one to go out for one thing and bring back another. But I'm being rude. I haven't introduced myself. I'm Miko Abarazaki, Emmy's mother. Bam! Spot on. I knew it. Pleased to meet you. Well, that explains it. She's like a taller, older, and better endowed Emmy. Oh my god. god, better endowed. She sure is. Apart from her hair being a darker shade than Emmy's, there's really no mistaking the resemblance. I guess, sort of the appeal of their looks is in the family. Emmy definitely got that from her mother. Sorry, I'm Hisao Nakai. And really, you don't have to apologize for not introducing yourself, Mrs. Ibarazaki. Ibarazaki, I think that's what it is. That's really Rin's job in this situation, isn't it? Another laugh from Emmy's mother. I take it you've not known Rin for that long, then. It's best not to expect her to remember something like that. She's got other things to think about, I assume. Rin nods, seemingly pleased by this assessment.
She's right. I was thinking about sunsets.
You see, it's really up to us to make introductions and the like. For a better lack of response, I nod. Mrs. Ibarazaki leans back on a little on her seat and raises an eyebrow. So, how long have you and Rin been dating? What? My response consists of silence as my brain suddenly lurches into gear. But just before I can begin to utter a hastily babbled explanation, Emmy's mother burst into laughter again. Ha! You're a blusher, aren't you? I don't know if there's any way to keep my dignity in the situation, so I settle for a mumbled response. Maybe. So, this must be a new romance then, mustn't it? Wait, that's not the question that... Another laugh. I know, but it's funny to watch you squirm. I'm sorry. Forgive an old woman her amusements. Old woman? She sure doesn't look that old to me. Is she making like a kissy face? What is that? What is she doing with her lips? Like, she's definitely blushing, but she's kind of like making a kissy face or like pouting her lips in that sort of, you know, tutting them outwards that makes it look like you're kissing someone or something. Clearly, Emmy gets her youthful features from her mother. I suppose I can let it go. How kind of you.
It's starting.
Oh, let's go, Emmy. Let's freaking go, my girl. I direct my attention to the track, where they're preparing for the first sprint. It looks like the 400-meter dash. My eyes scan the runners before finding Emmy. Oh, there she is. She's smiling with an almost cocky look on her face. The starter raises her pistol. BAM! Emmy explodes off the block, disappearing from her starter line in a blur. It's amazing. Even as other sprinters converge on the lanes closest to the inside line, Emmy surges to the front of the pack. By the time she rounds the final turn, some of the other runners have caught up with her. Their efforts come to naught though, since a final burst of speed from Emmy leaves them at least a half a second behind. Mrs. Ibarazaki whoops and shouts, applauding wildly, and generally looking like any other parent cheering on their child. Emmy bounced off the track, looking pleased with herself. Look at that finish, oh yes. I cheer right along with the rest of them. The announcer, sounding suspiciously like Misha, oh god, gleefully gives the results. I think she's gotten faster since last time. That was incredible. Mrs. Ibarazaki grins proudly. Emmy's a heck of a runner. We fall silent as the next event is being prepared. I'm surprised to see Emmy striding out onto the track again. Wait, didn't she just run? Emmy's mother nods. Yes, but she runs multiple events for the team, especially the sprints. It's a lot of running, but Emmy can handle it. That was like a warm-up for her. From the looks of things, she's right. Emmy doesn't appear to be tired, as if she hadn't run the previous event at all. It's, if not for the sweat visible on her shirt, you'd never know. Which event is this? It's the 200-meter dash. She'll do this one, the 100-meter, and the relay. Dang, 4 events. I see. Once again, the pistol sounds, and once again, Emmy flies off the block. A thumping sound draws my attention away from the race. It's Rin's foot. She seems completely absorbed in the race. Emmy's mother cheers again, and I assume that the race is over. Sprints don't seem to me like they take very long to complete. Your foot. Your foot was bouncing on the bleachers. Oh, you seem pretty into this stuff. I'm surprised. Rin looks at me quizzically. Why wouldn't I be? No reason. I just thought stuff like sports wouldn't interest you. I suppose you're right. It's not that interesting. But I'm watching Emmy, not the sport exactly. Supporting your friend? I don't follow. Emmy's the most Emmy when she runs. You don't get to see Emmy at her Emmyest very often. But here, you can. See? She directs my attention towards the track again, where the 100-meter dash is about to start. Oh my god. She look at her eyes, it's so confident as well, and that's that sneaky smile on her face like, heh, you ain't got a chance, everybody else. I watch Emmy closely. As she gets onto the starter blocks, her whole body seems to relax, but it's a false relaxation. I can see that she's actually like a coiled spring and like boing. As the starter tells everyone to get set, her head snaps up and her eyes narrow slightly. Her mouth curls upward in what could be a grin and could also be a growl. Arr, yeah, go get him, girl. When a pistol goes off, it's as if she's been unleashed from a cage, like she was always moving at this blinding speed. But we couldn't see it happening until the starter's pistol dispelled the illusion of motionlessness. It's all over in a few seconds, but in those few seconds, I feel like I just witnessed something very personal for Emmy. As soon as she crossed the finish line, the fierce look was replaced by her normal grin. The conquering general returning to his farm. Amazing! She's really amazing! I've never seen anyone move like that. Well, don't look at me. I'm far too relaxed to run that fast. No, I think Emmy's prowess all came from her father's side. At the mention of Emmy's father, Mrs. Ibarazaki looks wistful, almost sad. He got her into running, you know. Oh my god. Yeah. She told me. I'm uncertain as to whether or not it would be rude of me to ask after Emmy's father, but after that look on her face a few days ago, I feel compelled to ask. Oh my god. We're opening Pandora's box. Where's her father now, if I might ask? Emmy's mother hesitates, clearly not willing to answer the question, but at the same time not wishing to appear rude. He isn't around anymore. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring up bad memories. Emmy just seemed a little sad when she mentioned him earlier. That's not surprising, considering... They were very close. Oh my god. Don't tell me that they... Oh my... That must have happened... Oh, that must have been what happened, right? Because Emmy was in a car crash where she lost her legs. Obviously, she is not at the age. I don't know how old we actually are. But I'm assuming this is high school, right? Or college. I'm not entirely sure. But I don't think she was able to drive. Or that she was the person driving when the accident occurred. So I'm almost thinking someone else must have driven the car, right? And the only other person that then comes to mind is the father. And that he actually died during that accident. Oh my god. Poor Emmy. And Emmy's father too, of course. I see. A beeping noise suddenly emanates from Mrs. Ibarazaki's pocket. Reaching into it, she pulls out a cell phone and looks at it. Honestly? Text messages? What is he? 16? Oh, nothing. I've got to meet up with a friend of mine. Will you tell Emmy I'm very proud of her and that I'll call her later tonight? Of course. Why won't she just walk down to the track and just, quickly say like, oh, Emmy, give her a hug and like, yeah, that's so good, my girl. And then, I'm proud to be your mommy. And then like, I gotta go meet a friend. Obviously, she says friend, right? But it's probably like Emmy's soon-to-be stepdad, but Emmy doesn't know about it, which is why she's probably sneaking out right now. Oh my god. I'll admit that I zone out for a while. I almost don't notice that the relay is about to begin, but when I look, I can't find Emmy. I thought that Emmy would be running the relay. Let me guess, she's going to be finishing the race. She runs anchor, so she won't be running for a while yet. Ah, did you see it? Huh? Emmy at her Emmyest. Maybe. That's such a... It's a strange way of like calling it, but it's so accurate as well. It's just Emmy at her Emmyest. Like, it sounds so weird, but it's really, really accurate. I actually like that sentence from Rin. Maybe this time. The race begins, and I cheer Emmy's teammates along as they pass the baton. Oh yeah. Finally, I see Emmy sprinting onto the track to take the final handle. Oh, look at that girl. She's lost like part of her arm as well, but it's like wrapped in bandage, in a bandaged. What is wrong with the other girls? I don't know why I'm like kind of noticing these things. Everybody else seems to be fine. They've got legs, they've got arms. Okay, well, the only person that's like right at the right side of Emmy is missing one arm at least. The rest seem fine. Once again, I'm taken aback by how graceful she looks when she runs. It really is beautiful. The look of determination and fearlessness on her face only adds to the picture. Emmy at her Emmyest, I suppose. But then, as she crosses the finish line, I see her stumble slightly. It's only barely, but it's a definite stumble. Oh no. Rin inhales sharply and actually looks concerned for a second. Aw, Emmy. Did she hurt herself, do you think? You noticed it too? It must be bad. She frowns, as if deciding on the next course of action. Eventually, that proves to be too tiresome, and she shrugs again. Well, let's go down. Gotta crown the victor. Let's see if you can find a laurel branch. That's not going to be easy. Rin shrugs. At least we tried. Well, we didn't really try all that hard. Or at all. But hey, whatever, we'll just say that we tried. It's the thought that counts, right? Emmy is surrounded by her teammates, all of them congratulating her on the run. Rin seems to be waiting for Emmy to notice that she's arrived. Oh yeah, I guess she can't exactly wave Emmy over, huh? Then again, I'm not sure that Rin would do such a thing, even if she had arms. It just doesn't seem her style to draw attention to herself, or to emote beyond shrugging. Either way, I'm not willing to wait, so I wave to Emmy, who looks up and grins happily at me, us. Hey, you showed up! Guess Rin owes me money, huh? We would have brought you a crown of laurels, but Hisao didn't find one. Hey, neither did you! It wasn't my job to look. When did we assign jobs? When I said, see if you can find a laurel branch. Try to keep up. I shrug. Guess Rin's rubbing off on me. Seems it's my fault after all, Emmy. Emmy laughs at Rin and me.
It's okay. I'm sure you'll make it up to me somehow.
Sure.
Good. So how'd I look?
I stopped myself from blurting out beautiful or amazing and settled for the substantially safer, very impressive. Emmy seems pleased with this assessment. I don't mention how much more impressive her performance is given her lack of legs. I figure she knows that already. Besides, it seems like it would take away from her efforts somehow.
Great to hear! I was worried that I looked a little slow on the relay, but I guess I did fine. Huh?
Actually, I know. Rin kicks me and keeps me from finishing my sentence.
What was that all about? He noticed it. At the end. That's no good. Guess the nurse will look at it for me later.
There's a carelessness in her voice, as if it's not a big deal, but I suddenly notice a slight twitch on her face, like she's trying to hide the fact that she's in pain. Oh no. So that's what the ending was of the previous video as well, like the nurse sort of scolding her because her leg is probably bleeding, or she's overexerting herself as well. Oh, Emmy, don't do this to me. It's then that I notice her breathing is a little shallow too. I guess she really is hurt. She must notice my concern, but she skips up to me and gives me a friendly pat on the shoulder.
Hey, you look a little worried. I'm fine, really. Just sore from all the running is all. And come on, a little pain isn't going to stop me.
Oh no? Emmy grins, and for a moment, she looks like she did during her sprint. Fierce and unconquerable. Or to put it another way, really beautiful.
Hasn't yet.
Well then, I guess I shouldn't worry, huh?
Damn right! I'm Emmy Ibarazaki, fastest thing on no legs. I don't stop for anything.
Impressive. Emmy giggles, and then seems to remember something.
Oh no! Before I forget, Rin and I are going to do something next Sunday as a post-track meet celebration. You should come along. Normally, we do it the day after, but since the track meet was on a Sunday, I've got homework and class and all that stuff to take care of. Plus, our morning run, of course.
Right, of course. Oh right, your mom wanted to say that she's very proud of you. She'll call you later tonight.
I thought I saw her in the stands. I'm glad she made it. Used to be my dad who showed up to my meets, but Mom's done a pretty good job of taking over.
She shivers slightly, and I realize that she's still all sweaty. A breeze has started to blow too. I'm not cold at all, and I've got my jacket with me, so without a word, I throw it around her shoulders. Emmy jumps slightly, and then grins at me.
Hey, thanks. It's getting a little cold, I guess.
Yeah, looked like it. Just as I begin to wonder whether or not giving Emmy my jacket would be taken the wrong way, a boy in a track uniform approaches. Hey Emmy, you're going to miss the medal ceremony.
Oh yeah, thanks.
She turns to Rin and myself.
You don't have to stick around for this part. It takes forever. Besides, you should get cracking on your homework now if you don't want to be up late, Hisao. Morning run tomorrow, don't forget.
How could I?
Good point. I mean, it's spending time with me after all.
With this, she waves quickly and dashes off to receive her medals, or whatever they pass off as a medal these days. Isn't she supposed to get 4 then? Dang. Rin and I head away from the track, Rin remaining deep in whatever thoughts she has for most of the walk back to her dorm. As I see her off, she speaks up.
You're probably not getting back that coat, I think.
I'm sure I'll get it back eventually.
Interesting. Take it as it comes. Huh? Very Emmy-ish.
With this odd statement, she turns and heads into the building. Honestly, was it that big of a deal? Emmy was cold, and unless I'm mistaken, in pain. Giving her a solution to at least one of those problems seems like an obvious reaction. Though I guess there is a chance I could lose my jacket if Emmy never remembers to return it. I guess Rin has a point. Still, I can't bring myself to muster much worry about the whole thing. After all, it's been getting warmer lately. I don't need a jacket. Odd. I think I used to be a little more responsible with my stuff. Emmy-ish. Huh? Maybe that's not really a bad thing. It definitely seems like, I mean, that's kind of obvious, right? The more sort of you hang out with certain people, there certain types of mannerisms and whatnot just sort of rub off on you as well. Like, even though we're not taking the Rin route, we're hanging out with Rin a lot because she is good friends with Emmy, so they I don't want to say they're a package deal, but you know, when Rin is somewhere, it's kind of a close bet that Emmy is somewhere hanging around nearby, and vice versa as well. So especially because they have lunch together always on the roof, so you know, if you hang out with the one of them, you'll probably see the other one somewhere close by, if not right next to you. So it's not sort of strange that we pick up on those things and actually sort of take them for ourselves as well. Like, for example, the shrugging with Rin and whatnot. But yeah, holy crap, Emmy is really freaking impressive with running. Like, it's one thing to see a person just running on her own, like, holy crap, she's fast, right? But when you actually see competition around her, so that you have something to compare her to, like in a sort of, you know, live setting, rather than just, oh, I can probably sort of, where you can estimate, like, yeah, she runs half as fast as me or something. But when you actually just see, like, oh, she's running against 4 other people and bam, she's so much faster than them, then it's like so much more impressive. And dang, I just feel like she is really determined. But I can understand why, but I'm really scared for her as well, especially because of the last thing the nurse said in the previous video, and now sort of that not only the expression on her face and that she seemed to be in pain but actually hiding it, but also that sort of stumble at the end. Like, that has to mean something, right? It definitely means something. So I hope it's not something too bad, and I hope it's something that could eventually go away if, for example, she takes it easy just for a little while. Even though, knowing Emmy, she probably would have a hard time with that, or just definitely wouldn't do that at all. But dang, Emmy is impressive. That's all I can say. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.